So many different guns in Warzone. So, how do you pick the right one for you, huh? Well, in today's video, I will be showing you how to pick these guns and the best class setups for you to use. So, here we go! Alright, so first off, I kind of wanted to break down the guns into like categories. So I made 4 categories for you guys. So the first one is short range guns. So that'll be like your subs and your shotties. And the next up we got the medium range guns like your ARs and your LMGs, and then we have long range for your snipers. I also made the RPG into its own category mainly because it's extremely popular right now and it's honestly really good, so it got its own category. With that being said, before you really pick the guns you want to use, you want to pick like the 2 categories that you want to pick the guns from. So you can use a sub and an AR, a short range, or a long range, or whatever you want. So I'll be giving you my opinion on the best guns for each category and also some other options you could use. So first off, we got the MP7. So all the subs do well from close range, obviously, but the MP7 does the best of any sub at longer ranges, and it probably has the least amount of recoil of any sub, especially with the attachments I'm going to show you. So I just think it's the most versatile sub out of all of the submachine guns, and it does well up close, but it also does well from medium ranges. Next up, we got the medium range class, and for this class, I would pick the M4. The M4 is just one of the best guns in the game, period. I mean, you've probably seen many people running it in Warzone. It has a low recoil. You can have a large ammo capacity. It has a good fire rate, really good range. But other than that, for another medium class gun, range gun, I like is the Grau. The Grau is very similar to the M4. It has low recoil, good range. You can have a large ammo capacity. So those are the 2 picks for medium range, for my opinion. Next up, we got the long range snipers. So really only 2 options is the AX50 and the HDR. It's more personal preference, in my opinion. As long as you hit, they both one-shot headshot. So it's really whatever gun you feel more comfortable with. I personally like the AX50 a lot more because of the sight. I hate the HDR sight, and it also aims in faster, so that's why I like the AX50 more. Because you need to hit your headshots. As long as you're hitting headshots, they both will one-shot you. So it's really whatever gun you're more comfortable with. So next up, we got some wild card guns, some out-of-the-box shit. So the first up is the RPG. RPG is pretty self-explanatory, honestly, but if you've played Warzone at all recently, you've seen a lot of people using it. It's really good against vehicles, obviously, but even just against normal people on the ground, it destroys them, especially if you're running amped. If you're running amped, you can just fire that shit at will. Like, rockets will be flying. Next up, we got the dual wield revolvers. And I can tell you from personal experience of absolutely getting just nutted on by these things that they are disgusting. The only problem with them, obviously, is that they are only good up close. And another problem is if you use these, you're kind of a bitch just because it takes no skill. Now, I am a little biased because I hate when I die with these things, but look, up close, no one's going to kill you. If you have these things, no one's killing you. If you're within 10 feet of the guy, you're not dying. So, just keep that in mind that you are kind of a bitch. But, we do whatever it takes to get these wins out here. This is Warzone. This is Warzone. This is a war, baby. There's no rules. No, nothing you can't do. So, you do what you want, and I won't judge you, okay? Alright, so we got the guns out of the way. So the next, it's about time we move on to attachments. Alright, so the attachments I'm going to be showing you are pretty much I use for every gun. So I use the same attachments on every gun. Obviously, they just have different names sometimes. But the focus of the attachments really is to give you really low recoil and more range. just because a lot of the gunfights, that's what you want. So yeah, let's get into it. So the first attachment we got is probably the most important one. It is the monolithic suppressor, and this one does two things for you. It's a twofer. It's a 2 for 1 for. All right, so number one, it gives you more range, more damage range. Obviously that's important, but the most important thing with it is that it hides your red dot from the mini map when shooting and the sound suppression. So when you're in a fight, right, you know, other teams that are nearby, you know, if they see your red dot, you know, they're coming for you. So if you hide that from the mini map, then, you know, it gives you a much greater chance of not getting third party, basically. So getting shot from ways you're not expecting, which is obviously very important. You know, if the enemy knows where you are and you don't know where they are, it gives them a huge advantage. So just having that is super important. And also the suppressors aren't like they were before. This one in particular isn't like the ones in past CODs. So every suppressor in past CODs, it would reduce your damage range, so it would be pretty ass. But this one does the exact opposite. It does sound suppression and increases your range. So it is the most important attachment in my opinion. For lucky number 2, we got the barrel. So the one I use is the one that gives you the most damage range and recoil control boost. A lot of the times the guns have 2 of the same barrels that do the same things, just one does more than the other. So you want to pick the one that does the most damage range and recoil control. But yeah, I mean, pretty self-explanatory. It's the one you want, it's the one you need, it's the one you're gonna get. Next up, we got the underbarrel. The underbarrel, it's more personal choice. Like, there's not a clear-cut winner. There's probably like 3 that you should use though, but not one of them technically is better than the other. But the one I use is the commando foregrip, because I don't wear underwear. Also because it helps with horizontal recoil, and that's just less predictable than vertical recoil. But if you're a newer player, then you probably want either the ranger foregrip or the operator foregrip, because that helps with vertical recoil. And for newer players, they usually have a tougher time with that. Obviously, me being, you know, 15,000 plus hours of COD time, 6 years of playing, like, most people aren't gonna shoot as straight as me. So yeah, you might as well just listen to me. You know, yeah, just, you know, listen. Yes. Next up, we got the ammunition attachment. So for this attachment, you simply just want to pick the one that gives you the biggest ammo capacity. Now, the reason for this is the high time to kill in Warzone, which simply just means that, you know, in Warzone, it takes more bullets to kill someone than, let's say, in pubs. So, you know, when you're in a fight, you don't want to have to reload every time you knock or kill one person. Like, you're gonna get caught reloading and you're just gonna get shot. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I see a lot of people not doing this, and it just drives me wild, if I do say so myself. So don't be dumb. Just put on the big ammo, the big boom boom ammo, okay? Thank you. So last but not least, the last attachment is the rear grip. So for the rear grip, you want to use the rubberized grip tape, and this just gives you more recoil control. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy, just does his job, gets in, gets out. Just old reliable, as I'd like to say, you know. So with all these attachments, you'll shoot straighter than a gator, I promise. But if you do want to use an optic instead of one of these attachments, then I would recommend taking off either the rear grip or the underbarrel. You know, it won't be really a big deal. You know, you'll lose some of the recoil control, but you know, you should still be fine. Next up, we got the percolators. So for percolator number 1, you want to go with either EOD or double time. For double time, I mean, Verdansk is a big ass map, so you know, you're gonna be running a lot, so pretty self-explanatory. But for EOD, it's just a lot of people are running RPGs and C4, so you know, you wanna have your protection. You know, always bring your protection. So next up, we got perk 2, and for perk 2, this is what I like to do. So on your first loadout drop, you get your class with overkill. So the ground loot has gotten a lot better, but your own guns will always be better than the guns you can find on the ground. And since loadout drops come pretty often, when I find a second loadout drop, I pick my class with Ghost. And Ghost is really good because it hides you from UAVs and heartbeat sensors, and a lot of people just use both. I know UAVs is the second thing I buy after a loadout drop, and I pretty much always use a heartbeat sensor. So the last perk is Amped. Amped just lets you switch between guns faster, and also lets you reload faster with your RPGs or rocket launchers or something like that. It's really good, just, you know, for switching guns. Like, you know, it's useful. And all the other ones are pretty ass. Like, they don't really benefit you at all. So Amp's the clear winner. And last but not least, we have tacticals and lethals. So for lethals, I would recommend C4. C4 is the best lethal for vehicles. It pretty much one-shots all vehicles except for the cargo truck. And then you could also use it as a grenade, you know, at people. So there's that. It has a big blast radius, does a lot of damage. And then for tacticals, I'd recommend the heartbeat sensor. Again, knowing where your enemies are before they know where you are is a huge advantage. So that's why I use it. Just, you know, getting information is a big key in Warzone. All right, that'll do it for me. I hope you got some helpful tips from this video. If you enjoyed the video, you know, remember to leave a comment, a like, and please subscribe. All my other videos are all funny content, so if you want to check those out, please do. And yeah, this is your daddy Kira, and I'll see you next time.
Girl, come inside, up the light. She wanna spend the night. It feels so right.